Hi, this is Cheryl St.Pierre of Majestic Wire Artworks. In this video, we're going to make this cat eye necklace. Now, I've used green tiger eye for the eyes and pink, it's called, I think it's actually called cat eye bead for the nose. Yeah, pretty sure it's called cat eye. Anyways, it's the fiber optic type of bead. Now, you don't need to use the beads I've chosen. You could just pick either blue, green, or gold beads for the eyes, and just, you know, pink or orange. You know, some cats have orange noses, some cats have black noses. So anything that you think you want your cat to have for a nose and eyes. So that works for you. These are, here, I'm going to go get the supply list. And you can take your screenshot right there. So for supplies, you need 5.5 feet of 20 gauge wire, which is 165 centimeters long. And the gauge is the same as 0.8 millimeters. And you're going to need your 3 beads that I've already talked about, and they're 10 millimeter beads. Then you're going to need your chain and clasp of choice. And for tools, you're going to need your round nose pliers, your chain nose pliers, your flash cutters, and your ruler. So this is a nice, basic, simple piece. It's not too hard to do, I don't think. Little practice with finger swirling, and I think you're good to go to make this. So let's go and let's get to it. Okay, so take your 20 gauge wire, which is 0.8 millimeters, and find the center by putting the ends together and then just bending it like this. And then I want you to take your round nose pliers, and we're gonna make fairly small loops to attach the chain. We don't want them too big. So a little bit bigger than you would make for your ear wire or earring. And I notice I'm heading to the left, so let's try and move to the right. Okay. Yeah, and I want you to twist, and I'm going to be fighting with the camera here. I know I am, but I'm going to do my best. I know that I twist neater when I'm not on camera, so, but these twists are kind of hidden, so it's okay. Okay, so do about 3 twists. We don't want it too long. I'll measure that. Grab my ruler. Just so you have an approximation. And it's about 6 millimeters. There, 6 millimeters. So the ends are going to be shorter than between the beads. So now I want you to put one of your beads that you are intending to be the eye. And I'm using green tiger eye, in hopes that the flash in it, where it lights up, ends up looking like an eye. That's my hopes, anyways. Okay, and I'm actually gonna make it on the bottom wire. I don't think it really matters, but I'm just gonna do that. Okay, and then I'm just going to wrap this around like this, and then bend this like this, and then I'm just going to take this and twist it. And this time I'm going to do, let's say 5 twists, and let's measure that. So it's being awkward here. I think we're at about 8 or 9 millimeters there. I might hold this and just tighten it a little bit, make it a tiny bit shorter. I just tightened up the twist, and let's see if it's shorter, because I think I want it more like 8. I'm gonna undo. So I want about 8 millimeters in there. So I undid about half of a twist. And now I'm gonna put the bead, my nose bead, which I'm using a pink cat eye, on the top wire. I'm just alternating it. Okay, and then I want to it snug up there, and then we'll try and get 8 millimeters between the two beads here again. So I'm not even counting the twists, I'm just measuring. Okay, I think I've got it already. Okay, and notice that it flipped upside down on me. And now I'm going to do the bottom wire for the other eye. I have to apologize for being out of screen so much, because this is rather awkward. But I wasn't going to do this tutorial. I just had a request to do it, and so many people wanted me to put whiskers on this, and you know, I really pride myself in making pieces that are durable and wearable. And now remember, this part is supposed to be just short, so I think we got it there. 3 twists did it, and and then I'm going to make a loop. Anyways, to continue with the story, is they wanted me to put whiskers on it, and whiskers would snag your outfit. Whiskers would, I couldn't make it strong and stable. It just wasn't doable. So I was just going to throw this pattern down the wayside, but I made it with the cat eyes like this, the tiger eye, and I put it up for sale. And it sold within an hour of me having it online for sale. So I'm going, well, it must be an okay design, even though I was thinking that it wasn't. So I'm going ahead with this tutorial, so hopefully you will enjoy it. Okay, so I'm going to now, because I want to do a proper loop, I want to, no, it's not working for me. I have to do a backwards loop because I twisted it, and the one that's on top is facing down. So I am going to do it backwards. Actually, it really doesn't matter, but I'm just picky that way. So I'm just making the loop nice and small, the same as I did over here. And then came around so it's on top. Okay, so I have both wires on top. That's the goal. And so hopefully you'll be able to do that too. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make loops at about the same, about the same size as this distance here, because we're going to, the first loop is going to be there, and we're going to do 5 loops up into here. So if that makes sense, and they're going to be going clockwise. So let's start off. So that's how you know what size to make. It's that distance there. And then you bring it around like this. And then you make the next one right beside it. And try and make the loop similar in size. And what this is the under part of the eye. That's 3. So the third one should be, try and be right underneath at the bottom. I mean, we're not always perfect, but that's what we aim for. Okay, so it's going to look like that. My wire caught on the last loop here. Okay, so it's a little off, but you know what? That's okay. It's supposed to be 5 separate, but they tangled. Okay, so now I'm going to go up here. So it's upside down at this point. So this would be the bottom, but that's just easier to hold it. And now I'm going to twist this around once like this. And now we're headed back on the nose. So this is the top of the nose instead of the bottom, but I have to work on the bottom. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a tiny, tiny loop right about here on the bead. And then we're going to do another loop around that bead to make it bigger. And what it's going to do is kind of shape the nose to more of a triangle shaped. So if that, I mean, it's almost impossible to do that, but so I've got this tiny loop centered on that bead. And this might take practice for you. I've been doing finger swirl loops for years now. Okay, so this is what we want it to look like. And I'm going to put it right side up. So that's going to be the top. So it's, and then you want to make it, hold it and look at it and put it where you want it so that you have the right shape of nose. Okay, so kind of centered and upwards. And then you hold it there, support it there while you do the loop around like that. And that held it in place. So it looks like that. Okay, and now we're going to do 5 loops again, the same as we did over there. So we should have about 5, 6 millimeters of wire in here in order to make that loop consistent. So that's 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was a little bit big. Pull it tighter. 4. I'm going out of screen. And this, I apologize, but this is kind of hard for me to do on camera. And this moved on me, so I'm going to have to spread it out. And the last one to get it positioned here. Okay, so that looks similar on either side, fairly similar, except for the tangle we had here. It kind of untangled itself a little bit. And now we're going to wrap around the end just once. So now we're working on top like this. So this is what it looks like so far. That's sitting the right way. And this did move on me, and I'm going to adjust that right now. Push it apart a little bit. And I think that looks better. And now, to make the cat eye shape, or eyelid shape, we're going to do a little swirl here. It's going to be about the same size as this one, maybe a tiny bit smaller. And then we're going to go and swoop it around here. So it kind of looks like an eyelid. And again, we're working clockwise. So we have a loop like that. And then you're going to bring it down and have a nice curve to make the eyelid. and twist it around there. And now, see the wire I had here? We're going to do a double wire right over top of that. And we just kind of frame that bead like that. And hold it, support it, and wrap around once. And now we want to kind of mirror this. And this could be difficult for some. And so you're going to have to kind of bend it with your thumb here and make that little swirl. Okay, so mine went a little, I over-exaggerated mine a little bit. Okay, so there. I'm just going to push it down a little bit to reshape it, and then wrap once around that, and then back down and under. And we're going to snip it off here, right there. And we're going to finish the ends by putting a loop on them so that it doesn't snag anything, and just push it down. So I'm using my chain nose. You can use your chain nose. You could use your round nose, whatever you feel comfortable with. And I'm going to do it one wire at a time. I'm going to make the wire touch itself with a loop. And then I'm flattening it so it's nothing poking out. Okay, just push it in. There, so it's tucked in right beside the bead. Can you see that? Have it just tucked in. So that it's soft, the bead's sticking out further, so it's not even going to make the necklace sit funny. Okay, so this is fairly tiny. I didn't measure how wide it is. Let's do it in inches. Okay, so it's about 2.5 inches wide. So if you want to make this a 20-inch necklace, you're going to take the chain, the length of chain you want, or length of necklace you want, and take away your no, we're going to do one more thing before we head into that. I adjusted it, so I want this to look flat or level. So I am supporting this and bending this upwards, and doing the same with this, supporting and bending upwards. And see, this could affect the length or the width of the piece. And this is very cute and dainty. Okay, so I think there. And now I'm going to push this down a little bit. And just make that nose just a tiny bit bigger. I'm going to take my closed pliers so it doesn't mar anything, and gently push on that. Okay, so my tiger eye didn't do quite what I was hoping it would do. It's actually sitting the opposite way, but you know what? It's still pretty cute. It still has that flash. And there, now I'm going to measure the width here, and it's just a smidge over 2 inches. So what you would do, this is the way I figure out my chain length. If you wanted a 20-inch chain or necklace, you would subtract 2 inches from the 20, and then your clasp and your pieces for your clasp to attach I usually take an inch for that because it's usually pretty close to an inch. So this is a little bit over an inch and your clasp would be a little bit under an inch. So 20 take away 3, you need 17 inches of chain. Although we're going to have a more clasp there. So it's going to be approximate. I want you to now take your scrap and we're going to make some infinity links with the scrap. And we want the links to have loops the same size that we put here. So I think that's pretty close. We don't want it big, but we don't want it super small either. So that's how I made that. And then I'm going to snip it off right there. That's one. Two. And now I'm going to work harden them. So I'm going to pulsate pressure on my pliers. And that'll flatten it a little bit and strengthen it. And being that it's so small, it makes them stronger as it is. If it was bigger, it would be not as strong. Okay, that one's done. Now, if you're planning on oxidizing this piece, you should probably oxidize it before you put your chain on. That's just a piece of advice. Just going to put this on here. Flatten it. Okay, so it's ready to put the chain on. And what I just do, because I use bulk chain, I just put my whole measurement of chain. I have 17 inches of chain there. That's what I predicted it would be. And I'm going to put that on. And then I could take it in half and snip it in half to put my clasp on. But I won't do that part on here because you know how to do that for yourself. I'm going to pause it while I do this. Voila, and there it is. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy this cat eye necklace. God bless, and thank you for joining me, and we will see you in the next one. Bye for now.